Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are speaking in mandatory minicamp, and they were asked about the Tyreek Hill podcast. And there's a lot to transcribe here, so let's dive into this. Remember, Tyreek Hill on the It Needed to Be Said podcast chatted a little bit about, what would you rather have, the ball accurate or long? And it sounded like there was maybe some shots towards Kansas City, although he said no shots or no offense meant here. And he talked up Patrick Mahomes, but I think he was trying to put over Tua. But a lot of things were said about how Andy Reid's going to have to talk to Patrick Mahomes about how offense and defense is going to be differently now, be without Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill's that guy. Patrick Mahomes said, I'm surprised a little, just because I felt like we love Tyreek here. We've always loved him. We still love him. I saw him out at Formula One in Miami, where all the money was, and everything like that. But I'm sure it had something to do with trying to get his podcast some stuff, get it rolling. But definitely, I still love Tyreek. He's still a one-of-a-kind player. But as you know, Patrick Mahomes went on to say, in Coach Reid's offense, takes a whole team. This offense was rolling before I got here. This offense was rolling when I was a young Cowboys fan, watching the Eagles beat up on the Cowboys. So, it's an offense that's more than one player. And that includes myself, Patrick Mahomes says. Head coach Andy Reid had a similar response when asked about Hill on Thursday, waving off the comments. I love Tyreek. So, he's a good kid, Reid said. We think the world of him. Mahomes noted that he hasn't talked to Hill since the podcast dropped, but when he saw him for the Formula One race, everything seemed fine. This is via Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio transcribing the entire press conference. So if it's something where I'm sure he's trying to show that he loves where he's at in Miami, he loves his teammates, Mahomes said, but at the end of the day, he's just going out there and playing football. And he kind of let other people talk about who's the best and all that different type of stuff, which is kind of our reaction after hearing Tyreek, like, hey, Tyreek, agree with what you're saying, but people are immediately going to say, since you said that, you're an arrogant asshole, and they're not going to take what you're saying for anything other than that, which we love Tyreek just as much as it sounds like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid does. Obviously, when you're the competitor that he is, Patrick Mahomes said, that's the thing we loved about Tyreek, and we still love, is he wants to win. And I still feel like the coverages that we were getting, defenses were really accounting for him, so we had to go other places, Mahomes said. But when he's a competitor like that, you want to have a chance to impact the game. So I know he wanted to get the ball as much as possible so he could help us win. It wasn't a selfish thing. So Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid both said, hey, we love Tyreek. We're fucking pumped that Tyreek got the amount of money that he got. Yeah. We were not going to be able to pay that or pay that. And it's not about him taking shots at us. No offense was really taken. And I respect and appreciate that, because that is some drama that everybody in the sports media world was hoping for. You know what I mean, AJ?
Oh, can you imagine? People would love to have a Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes beef go on for the whole season, and they ask about each other all the time. So yeah, they kind of took the high road, I would say, and answered it well. Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, even though what Tyreek said isn't terrible, I think he was 99% of it. He was trying to say how pumped he was to play for Tua, to give Tua confidence, the rest of that team. He was trying to pump up Miami and what he's doing there, and not tear down what he had in Kansas City. But yeah, he's a football player, though. There's everything, every single day is not going to be perfect. So I think it's cool that he's honest with how he felt. It's cool to see. Maybe that's another thing with younger generation too. They're not scared to be honest, man. They'll tell us how they feel.
I don't know if that's the case. It seems like these kids don't talk at all these days.
No,
there's zero. Everybody is like a robot.
I'm just going off the young, especially the young receivers we had at the Super Bowl, how awesome they were. I was like, man, I would love to play with this dude. They just seem so fun, and they seem to just love ball too. They wanted to play.
I completely agree. And there were some people trying to take the It Needed to Be Said podcast as shots at Tyreek Hill. And anytime you are poised with a would you rather this or this, right? You immediately, in some people's eyes, are bearing one and putting over the other.
Yeah, Devontae's doing it with Derek. They're asking about Derek and Aaron all the time now, too.
Derek actually had an incredible answer to that. I don't know if we still have it. I know we had it earlier in the week. Derek Carr was asked about Devontae Adams putting him over and saying that he's similar to Aaron Rodgers. This is what Derek Carr said about his college friend and roommate returning to his team and putting him over in a conversation, comparing him to Aaron Rodgers.
He said that there were some similarities between you and Aaron Rodgers. What did you make of that comment, and what is just the significance of teaming up at this point in your careers?
Yeah, Aaron's, has won Super Bowl, MVPs. I have not done those things. But I think just from a talent aspect, I don't think people really realize in the NFL just how close the gap is on everybody. That the margin for victory in every game is this close. Obviously, if you want to compare resumes, I haven't won the awards that he's won. But from a talent standpoint, we all go out and throw together, and we can all throw a football, pretty good. That's why, when you get playing 10 years, almost 10 years at the same place and more, you should be all right at throwing the ball. And so I understand what Tay's saying, and I appreciate it. But the respect that I have for Aaron, and Aaron knows that, as I've told him many times. I got a long way to go before I'm ever, in that conversation.
Well, I can respect that at Derek Carr, but I like the fact that Derek Carr said, hey, I know what Devontae was doing. I appreciate Devontae doing that, and this is my answer. We can all throw the fucking ball, though. I mean, let's not. And Derek Carr has to have confidence by it. Could you imagine if he said, well, Aaron can certainly throw the ball a lot better than me. He's more handsome than me. He seems to be much more deep thinking than me. Every Raider fan would be like, get this fucking bitch-made dude out of our... You have to have a certain level of confidence, but I think Derek Carr handled that answer or that question perfectly. And the more and more we hear from Derek Carr, I think the more we like Derek Carr, right?
Absolutely.
That's always the thing. And they win games that none of us think they're going to win. They're going all in. He is at the point now in his career, 10 years in, which I think he and every quarterback had hoped for their entire career. They're kind of going all in here for Derek. Yeah. And Derek has a real opportunity. I think he can sense that, and it sounds like he's prepared and ready for it, AJ.